Hey, I haven't made a video in a while, and I was gonna plan on doing it last week before episode 3 came out, but I had something came up, so I couldn't. So I'm doing it now. So be careful of spoilers if you have not caught up to this point of episode 3 of season 4, because I will be spoiling it. And I have I'm not gonna do a review of sorts. It's just gonna be like references and Easter eggs and what's it called uh, predictions. So yeah. Uh, the biggest character that they introduced to this show this season was Ghost Rider, and they're taking liberties of this character because it's very new, and Agent of Shield is known to do twists and turns and make their comic book characters fit in their universe, and Ghost Rider is no exception. But for the most part, has been comic book accurate and really with the character of Robbie and his relationship with his brother Gabe and stuff like that. And also they gave like little references throughout this couple episodes without actually. It's visual references pretty much. The first one was actually the opening scene of the season where he was chasing the watchdogs, and the watchdogs used a bazooka to shoot at the Hell Charger, and he turned in, he did a giant flip and turned into the Hell Charger and charged at the guys. That was shot by shot, like from the comics, but with the added bonus of Daisy Johnson. Speaking of Daisy Johnson, this is where they started deviating from the comics. Is the visual thing is that Daisy Johnson's father, Mr. Hyde, is actually the villain of Robbie Reyes is in the comics. But since Kyle MacLachlan, who plays Mr. Hyde in Agents of Shield, is kind of busy, they kind of had to do like a little spin on this version of Ghost Rider. So they used Quake instead, since it's like father like daughter, and they actually gave the pills aspect to Daisy Johnson as well. Because in the comics, Mr. Hyde is known for using pills, and in season 4, Daisy Johnson is popping pills now. So it's cool that they did that. And Eli Morrow was referenced in episode 1, and not a lot of people probably would have caught that because this Ghost Rider is not very popular, but he is confirmed to be alive, which is deviating even further from the comics because he's supposed to be dead, and he's supposed to be Robbie Reyes' Ghost Rider's Spirit of Vengeance, and but he's alive, and these ghosts that we meet in episode 2 were referencing something called the Darkhold book, which in the comics is actually a book that deals with demons, vampires, ghosts, and stuff like that. So I'm assuming, since they like to do spins on their characters, this he that the ghosts were kept talking about I'm assuming was Eli Morrow, and he used the Darkhold book to summon a demon. Since he's a satanic demon worshipper, he used the Darkhold book to summon a demon, but affected the people that worked at Momentum Labs, turning them into ghosts. And Robbie Reyes used the Darkhold book to summon another demon or something that caused him to turn into a Ghost Rider. That's the only way I can think of how this is all connected, because Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. like to connect everything together somehow. Like every season, everything is connected in some way, shape, or form. So that Darkhold book is probably going to be the link to every single thing. Through science has been a big aspect of this show. It's been always science-based characters and stuff like that, even related to science. But now that supernatural elements is coming in through, Fitz and Simmons are having a bit of an issue of dealing with that. Like, their science brains cannot accept ghosts. So in episode 2 they were trying to figure out what happened to these people and how did they got affected and stuff like that. And the first they first thought it might be what happened to Tobias Ford in season 1, which he got hit by a particle accelerator and was got the power to teleport from one planet to another, but he couldn't control it. So they assumed that's what it was, but we all know it's actually supernatural. So going forward, it's going to be fun to see what actually happens to make them just accept it for what it is. It's supernatural. They cannot change it because you cannot turn that into science. The biggest question that Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. left off on was who the new director was, and we find out that who it was in episode 2, but by the name Jeffrey. And whoever reads the comics, which I don't, so I had to look it up, is actually Jeffrey Mace, and he was confirmed that after in episode 3. But he actually replaced. He was actually the Patriot who then replaced Steve Rogers as Captain America in the comics after World War II, since he disappeared. And they did like a little spin on that variation because it's modern day and you can't really do that type of story. But Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. likes to reference characters from the MCU, which is fine to me. I don't understand why everyone else has an issue, but they reference Captain America, Steve Rogers, and all that kind of stuff because he disappeared after Civil War, and S.H.I.E.L.D. needed a new director, and the second person that they came up with was Jeffrey Mace. So that's a little nod to their comic counterpart. I don't think they're going to actually have Jeffrey Mace as the new, like the Patriot costume, because that would just look silly. But I can see Coulson and Jeffrey having a butting head relationship because Coulson's no longer the director, and maybe if they wanted to have like a little connection between each other, have Jeffrey Mace be a secretly obsessed fan of Captain America, just like Coulson is, and they can relate to that. The little details you may have missed were actually in episode 1. There was actually a hidden cameo by one of the showrunners, Jed Whedon. Comment down below if you actually saw him right away. He was actually in episode 1 with Daisy Johnson and Yo-Yo in the bus. He was just one of the passengers, stuff like that. But I didn't recognize him right away, but I kind of did. Like I wasn't paying attention. I was paying attention to what was going on the screen, but not in the background. But also in episode 1, when Fitz and Simmons are in the lab talking, you see in like the little corner of the screen a little orange Mickey Mouse symbol. It makes sense because Marvel is owned by Disney, and Disney likes to put little Easter egg Mickey Mouse symbols inside their movies and TV shows. So it's nice that they're doing that on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. as well. But comment down below again. Did you notice that right away? Because I didn't. I actually had to watch it like the episode 3 times until I noticed that it was actually there. Fitz and Simmons, their relationship is going to be strong. I cannot see them breaking up anytime soon. It's probably going to be a bit rocky, but they're finally in a good place. I don't think they're going to screw it up anytime soon. But their relationship is going to have a bit of rocky road because Fitz is lying to Simmons about the LMDs, which is responsible on Fitz's part because she can't really tell the new director when it's an unfinished product. So my prediction is when Fitz says Ada needs to be perfect, the only person to be perfect to Fitz is actually Simmons. So I'm going to guess that Fitz is going to create a LMD version of Simmons, but not tell anyone, and then put her in the field as Simmons' replacement, and it's going to go horribly wrong where she's going to die, and us, the audience, are going to know about this LMD version of Simmons until it's unmasked as to be an LMD, to make it pull in our heartstrings, which Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. likes to do a lot. So, yeah. I hope to have like major side effects from the being dead and being ghosts affected by with May, because it was a really cool little three episode arc where she started going crazy, and it was fixed kind of too soon for me. But I'm hoping these side effects are very vastly like very obvious, that it's torturing her inside. Like, I want to see more emotion from May than we ever had before, because we only see her like with a straight face, never really smiling, never really laughing, never really crying. She's always serious all the time. So when these side effects actually do happen, I want to see that actually happen. Uh, so yeah, I can't think of anything else to predict yet, other than somehow, I don't know how the LMDs and the Ghost Rider stories are going to connect, but someone did say they think somehow Lucy and all those ghosts are going to somehow connect, like latch onto the LMDs, and the LMDs are going to go against our S.H.I.E.L.D. team, which I don't know how that's going to work, if that's going to actually happen, but it would be interesting if it did. So comment down below what you think is going to happen in the future episodes, because I really want to know what your opinion is, and tell me if I missed any Easter egg references, stuff like that, down below in the comment section below. See ya.